Welcome back to the Unleashing. I'm your host, Jared Beeler. I know that every one of you guys that are paying attention to everything that's taking place, we're inching closer and closer to total catastrophic disaster worldwide with war and stuff like that. And I know every single one of you that's paying attention, sees what's going on and everything. And we've been talking about it for quite some time. And I mean, you can all see the news. You can see the buildup with Russia, how all the countries are prepping right now for war. But I just want to take it a little bit easier in this video and just kind of have a heart-to-heart about everything. I've been struggling really for a while with making videos and stuff like that. It's kind of worn me down, and I had some big stuff happen to me over Christmas and New Year's, and I've been in a hole big time. I've been trying to crawl out and pull myself back together, but I got hit with some pretty hard stuff, and I'm just looking where God wants to take me with this and heal me, and He's definitely showing me right now. So I mean, I'm really glad about that. But it's been tough, and I honestly just have not been able to make any videos or anything like that. I know that some of you guys have asked about it, but I'm trying to get back into that place. So just give me a little bit of time, because I'm trying to. But I see everything that's going on and stuff. But every single one of us right now, there is not really anywhere that I can look where we're not going through some sort of trial, or somebody's in some sort of hole, whether it's family members, loved ones, friends. I mean, every single place I can possibly look, I'm having people write me up that I haven't talked to in years. They're going through some trials, hurt, abuse, breakups, difficulty, divorces. I mean, it's just everywhere. At the gym, I run into somebody the other day, and he's a Christian guy, and his wife just up and left, and he doesn't know why, and it was at the end of the year. I've been messaged by a few people that are getting out of terrible relationships and stuff like that. I have friends and close friends that are dealing with something. It's just every single one of us all over the place is going through something right now. And if you're not, consider yourself blessed. But most of us are. And I know that I am, and it's really tough, because we're all looking to get out of here. It's like, this has been hard enough as it is, and you want it just to be over with. And it's like, how are we still going through more trials and difficulties right now? And it's like, when's enough going to be enough? You sometimes think that, but I got a story that I want to tell you guys that kind of goes along with this. I think I was about 14 or 15. We had just moved to Salmon, Idaho, me and my family, and my family was still looking around for some place to live, because they weren't sure if they were going to stay there. And we took this trip. It lasted for, I think it was 1 or 2 months. And we joke about it, my brothers and sisters and me. We call it the trip around the world. We started in Idaho, and we went down through Nevada, and then into Arizona, New Mexico, back up into Colorado, Wyoming, and then back to Idaho, and I think into parts of Utah. Well, it was terrible. We were all crammed in this SUV that we had, and we were camping out all the time. I only think we stayed in a motel like a couple times, and they were not nice ones or anything like that. So my family was trying to save money, but we ended up camping in this place called Hell's Canyon, and we were there for a week or so. And it took like about an hour or so to wind down this canyon to get down to the river. And one day while we were down there, me and my little brother went exploring, and we went up the river a ways, and it was really muddy and stuff, and the water was kind of cold, but we went up the river, and there was bugs and everything like that, and then we kind of floated and swam back down the river, but we were over on the other side, and we got back down to almost where we were in the camp, and there was a big bend in the river, and we were out on an island in the middle of it, and we had to swim inward into the inner elbow of the river to get to shore. And the water was cold, so me and my brother were just kind of like, postponing it, but finally we decided to jump in. But the current was really swift, and if we couldn't get to shore, it was going to pull us out further in the river, and we had drowned, So we jump in the river, and we both start swimming to get to shore, and we're kind of fighting an uphill current while the water is pushing us out into the mainstream and stuff like that. And we're paddling against the current, and it is getting really, really tough. And I'm having a hard time myself trying to make it, trying to get to shore. We're all like halfway out into the middle of this river, and it's like we're not making any progress. And I hear my little brother behind me, and he starts to get sad and whimper a little bit. And I turn around while I'm swimming to look at him, and he's starting to freak out. He's like, "I'm not gonna make it. I don't think I can make it." And he's getting really, really scared because he's about to go under and drown. Right? And I don't know what to do because I'm barely making it as it is too. I'm holding on the best that I can while I'm swimming as hard as I can against this current to get to the shoreline, and we just can't because it just keeps pushing us out further and further. And my little brother starts to freak out, and I turn around and I got really serious with him, and I looked right in his eyes, and I told him, I swore at him. I was like, "Bro, you get on your back and you flip and start swimming as hard as you can right now, and you don't think about anything else," right? Or something close to that. And he gave me this real serious look. He swam over on his back and just started swimming as hard as he could, right? And I start swimming, and I'm like, "Man, don't give up, bro, because there's no way I can rescue you now. I'm holding on for dear life myself," right? And right about that time, my knee bumped into something. And I felt down where I was, and just right below where I was swimming was a sandbar that came all the way out to the middle of the river. And my knee had bumped into it. So while my brother's got his eyes closed, he's paddling as hard as he can on his back, I end up standing straight up in the river, and it's only up to my thigh, right, in this water. And I turn around and I tell my brother, I'm like, "Hey, bro." He's like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Stand up." And he's like, "What? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Stand up." And he looks at me, and he's like, "What the heck?" And he puts his hands down, and he stands up, and we're in the middle of the river, and we're standing on this sandbar, and we can walk all the way to shore now, right? And I thought that was kind of funny because, in a way, this correlates to where we are right now in life. It's so tough. Everybody's going through something. We're at the end of the line. You can see all the signs. They're all right there. It's literal hell almost every day. And everybody is dealing, that loves the Lord, is really and those that don't as well. I mean, the whole world's going through right now as we get closer to tribulation, but everybody's going through something. And it's so tough, and we're trying to keep our head down, and there's others that are counting on us, and we're thinking, what are we going to do? I can barely take care of myself right now, right? And we're literally at that point, where it's like, if we don't hold on much longer, we're just going to drown, and God sees everything going on. And the correlation is that literally here at any moment, God is going to come down and in equivalent say, "Stand up." Where it looks like we're not going to make it at all, and we're fighting against the current, against all odds and everything like that. God's going to have the sandbar right there, and we're literally going to be able to stand up. He's going to rapture us out of here. And I'll never forget that, because it was kind of a unique incident that when that happened, and there's no way you could see with the muddy river or anything like that there was sand there or anything like that. So we had no idea. We thought we were going to be swimming across the full thing, but it was right under there, and it saved us halfway. And I thought that story was kind of interesting, and I wanted to share it because in the correlation of what we're dealing with here and all the hardships that everybody's going through, God still sees everything. He's still watching over us. He knows when he's going to pull us out of here and how much everybody can take and everything like that. And it is tough right now, But if you keep holding on to God and you keep giving your best and you're swimming as hard as you can, he is going to rescue us. He's going to pull us out of there. We have that hope, that blessed hope, that encouragement. When the world can't see the other side or the end or anything like that, you're going to get the sandbar. You're going to get to be able to stand up and get taken out of here. And I don't know if that message speaks to anybody, but I hope that it does. And I thought it was kind of important for the time that we're in right now, because times really are tough. And I just wanted to share that. But anyways, I had to deal with some stuff over Christmas and New Year's, and it hit me hard like a cannonball to the chest, honestly. And I've been trying to pick myself up And it's been very difficult. It was unexpected, you know. You go through one trial and you hit another one. You get out of the snow for winter and it's not even 4 days and you get blasted with something else, you know. And that's kind of how it is in life sometimes. Stuff just comes out of nowhere unexpected and stuff. But God sees everything. God always has a plan and He's always working on stuff. And the trial that I'm going through right now, it's necessary because God's been trying to get my attention for some things, and there's areas in my life that He's still honing, still working on. None of us are ever going to be perfect, and I've been in a sour spot for a while. Oh man, I really have, and I've lost that love of preaching and talking to people and stuff. I've been doing it for a while now, and always that hope that we're going to get out of here, that excitement to talk to people and, encourage them so that they can make it and stuff like that. I've started to lose that over time as I've been hit over and over and over again with just thousands and thousands of hate messages. And they wear on you, they wear on your soul and your shoulders. And, God's really setting me back here, back to some basics and some things that He wanted to deal with me on. And during this month, three or 4 weeks ago, I actually went to a church that I found here in town, and I just wanted to be around other Christians and just kind of just be in a spot around Christians. Nobody knows who I am or anything like that, but I just wanted to be around it, hear the Word of God and everything. And the preacher, after I went to this church, he came down and talked to me right after. He's like, I saw you come in. And he invited me to this men's group that I've been going to. And we're going over this book called Renovation of the Heart. And, I'm like, do I really need that? I'm like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll go. I just want to be around some people right now, around other Christians and stuff. And we start getting into this book, and it's like exactly what I need to hear. And I've got areas in my life, that are rooted in there, as do all of us. And it's talking about that, whether it's insecurities, anxieties, things like that people deal with in life, and finding the root of that and pulling that up and realizing, our worth is in Jesus Christ, who loves us and cares about us. It doesn't matter what the world says or the insecurities and stuff that we have and deal with out there, because the Lord loves us. And He sees us as special and as His children, and we're not compared to the world. So the whole world can hate you and despise you. But if you're in God's eyes, and He loves you, you've already won. You have everything. When that rolls over to His kingdom, all those people and things like that, that have nothing to do with Him, they will fade away. And we're going to be with Him. I think about it with when Jesus references, those who deny Him, He'll deny before the Father. And how many people out there who have been Christians or other things have turned away or decided not to talk about Jesus because they're around friends or a group of people in society that they think is cool, and they wouldn't look cool or hip if they talked about it because none of them are Christians, and to be denied later, standing before the Lord, how dangerous and scary that is when everything rolls over. The coolest person that you possibly can be associated with and that people want to know about where you are in the coolest and best group is to know Jesus and to be walking with Him. And to, to think about the people that have done that, who have turned because they were afraid or whatever else. It's such a loss because this world's going to fade away and everything's literally going to flip the other way. And it was those who stayed with the Lord even when they were by themselves that are going to turn out to be the coolest people to be around and the most awesome and the most blessed and, the most admired. And it's the exact opposite of how the world is, so. But, in this book, we were going over it the other night, and something stood out. I have it right here. And they're talking about the parable. It's in Matthew 13:44. And the guy in the book writes, "Consider the parable of the kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and concealed it. He was ecstatic. He sold everything that he had and bought the field." And he writes, "Imagine that you discovered gold or oil in a certain property and no one else knew about it. Can you see yourself being sad or feeling deprived for having to gather all your resources and sacrifice them in order to buy that property? Hardly. Now you know what it's like to deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow Jesus." And that's exactly the truth. For those that have the Lord, who have found Him, everything that we're putting into that, the people that we bring in, is going to... It is our oil, it is our gold in that field, it is that price that we can see, that you can look into the future and know of its worth. and it isn't anything to be, thought of as badly or looked down upon or anything like that, because it's going to be absolutely incredible when it rolls over, and we've all invested in that. And I have gotten so sour over the past few years of this taking longer and longer and longer, and I can see it on my face from when I first started making videos and things. I was happy and excited, and I knew that God was coming back really, really soon. It was already in overtime, and I really thought that it was going to happen any time. I've been watching the signs and sharing them, but over time, as it's dragged on, it's like, God, where are you? God, where are you? God, where are you? God, what's going on? Where are you? As the years just keep adding and adding and adding, and it started to build down. Like I keep talking, and people are turning away. You're seeing them, not turn to the Lord. Some you do. It seems like more are falling away than are turning to Him, and I've lost that joy that I've had in my heart, and I've lost sight of the light at the end of the tunnel. Honestly, I have, and it's really beat me down. And I'm kind of giving you right now just a heart-to-heart on this and how I've felt about this for a while. But you can see it from older videos and stuff. I was a lot more upbeat, and now it's really grinded me down over time. And this last year, I was really at the point where I don't even want to talk anymore. That's kind of where I was. And God called me to do this, and He hasn't pulled that away from me. And I've been sour about it for quite some time, because my life is combat, my life is battle. And I was spoken about this directly to my face in 2014 from Jesus Himself. When we were in that discussion, I asked Him, I was like, God, everything about me is fighting in defense, defending people, fighting for them. And it's like, you've pulled that away from me, God, and you never allow me to fight. Why it's still raging in my heart, to fight for the defenseless and help people. Do you want me to stop? Do you want me to not do that anymore? And He told me directly to my face, Jared, I created you to be a warrior, and I expect nothing less from you. And I'll never forget those words. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I will. But it's like, always on standby, always on standby, always on standby. And it wasn't until that month later when I had that vision of the rapture, which I got to taste for about 15 to 20 seconds of the incredible power and stuff that comes with it for that transformation when when we finally turn over, we get changed into who we're going to be, and justice will prevail through God, Jesus Christ, when we set up, kingdoms on the earth and everything else, and evil will pay the price. But it's a hard thing to wait for. It really is, when you want justice now and you watch the world falling apart, and you want to do something about it. I'm always trying to save the world, and I can't. I don't have the power to do that, and it's tough, and I feel like sometimes, is my life being wasted? And the truth is, it's not. Even if I think that sometimes, it's not. If I'm still talking to people, witnessing and doing what God has for me, then that is part of God's plan, because He's the master, the king, the general, who sees everything and His placement where you belong. You might be good in an area, and He might pull you out of that area and put you into another area. My area seems to be talking to people and what He has for me and stuff like that to do, and preaching online and stuff. And that's God. He knows. So why I'm thinking, I don't know if this is such a good idea. Can't my position be in a better spot? Can't you find better use for me? He's already decided what the best use is, even if I can't see it. And if that's what He has me doing right now, then I need to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't been. I really fought Him on this, and it's been tough. It really has been. And I'm trying to get out of that. And He's really working on me right now in my heart, and He's changing it. I have some bitterness in me, some hurt from past wounds and other things like that I've had for years and years since I was a kid, and He's pointing those out, and He's bringing it out. And you think it's last minute stuff. It's like, God, why are we doing this? We're about to get out of here. Is it really time? And God's just like, no, I control the time. I control when this is happening. I want to work on it right now. I don't always understand His way, and a lot of you might not too, but He does have His methods and reasons, and then you get to look back on and be like, you're such a genius. God, you seriously are such a genius. You know exactly how to do it, how to handle it. and you did it, and you did it when it needed to happen, even when I thought it didn't. And is all you can be is thankful, for his wisdom and his caring, because he's always working on us one way or another, and he always does have our best interests at heart, even if we don't think so at the time, and we're going through pain and hurt and stuff like that. So, we can always count on him, and I know that so many of you out there are going through the same stuff. You're all struggling in one way or another, dealing with things, loved ones, family. People have turned from you, and went to the world and stuff like that. And God sees all of it, and we still pray for all of them, and we love them the best we can. And where the world is right now and how close it is, never miss that opportunity. If you have somebody in your life, family, or somebody that you care about, you tell them that you love them, even if you don't hear anything back. You just do it, because honestly, none of us are promised tomorrow, and it all could end in a second. So never miss that opportunity to say that, because it is powerful, and it can change people. They can remember that, and it can be that kindness that you showed them, that helps them turn and remember what you told them and talked about when the tribulation and stuff starts. So you always want to take that opportunity and share that kindness. And I really am trying my best here with this, and I'm not really completely an open person, and this channel that God's given me to speak on these different topics and things, it really has opened up my life, my heart, and everything like that to the public in a way that isn't really been my style. I've always been kind of hidden from the world and secret and stuff like that in a lot of different ways, and not exactly personal, and this just opens up my whole life in so many different ways to share with people, and that's kind of tough. That's really tough for me. So, I mean, I don't, it's not always easy at all. I'll tell you that much right now. It's been very, very difficult, and I feel like my whole life's just on display, and it can be embarrassing and stuff like that at times, and it's not easy. And especially when you hear from people, they're talking so big, online, and they won't even show their face on their profile pic, It's just all air. So it is very difficult, and I do have to deal with a lot of things, but I really am trying to change my heart around it, and get into a better mood on this, because I've been sour for a long time, and I will openly admit that it has been tough. It's been tough to watch these timelines come and go as we constantly look, for that promise to get out of here, and to be encouraged and still talk to people, and I've answered the same questions with so many people over and over and over again that it's actually come into my own life, where I think that people should just know things already, and I forget the point that they don't, that they haven't heard this before, and they do need to be taught, and there does need to be some sympathy and caring for new Christians and things that are coming in that might not have heard this stuff before. And sometimes I can be kind of brass and speak harshly or whatever, or rough on the edges when I need to be a little bit more on the soft side. So I just ask that you forgive me on that, for anybody who has before. But at the same time, I do have a responsibility to keep people protected in the comments, delete people that are harassing you and threatening you, and to deal with areas in that matter at the same time. I've said before, it's not like talking to one group that's dealing with something when you're speaking online. I'm dealing with every problem and religion that can show up, and that makes it tough. Because I got to handle, if I'm talking to a Mormon, a Seventh-day Adventist, a Jehovah Witness, a flat earther, or whatever else, and it can be difficult because they're coming from every direction. You really have to be multitaskful in the process of doing it, and that can wear you down too, especially if you put out something serious like I did with what God told me, and nothing has changed on that. He said it's most definitely happening this year, and I've gone over that hundreds of thousands of times now, probably in my mind, over and over again, and that is exactly what he told me. And then to confirm it, he gave it to me on a spot, in an out of my mind experiment, or showing of what happened in the world when I asked for that confirmation. That's exactly what he gave me, and I have no other choice but to believe that that's what he told me. So, and the second I did, it was attacked by Satan, and literally thousands and thousands of people just coming in, minute, second after second after second, just putting everything that I've said down, calling me a false teacher and all this other stuff, and I'm not. I never have been. I never wanted to do this to trick anybody. I just wanted to share that Jesus is coming back soon, show the signs, and I expected it to happen in 2017, and this has progressed on so much longer. I already told you guys what I said. I was driving up the hill that day after it didn't happen, and I was heartbroken. I'm like, God, where are you already? I've been at this now for like 4 years or so, and he asked me, are you going to stop? And I'm like, God, I won't. I'll keep going. And he said, good, you can ride with me. And I knew exactly what he meant, and it cheered me up instantly more than anything, because nothing gets my attention more than saying, Jared, mount up, we're going into combat. And and nothing gets me more jacked, because that is my purpose, and I know it in my heart, and I feel like everything like that is on standby for right now, so it makes it very difficult. But when he told me that, it definitely got me cheered up. But he's drugged this on longer and longer, that none should perish or go into the tribulation. He's giving people chance after chance, and it's been squandered so much by people. But those that are waiting and really do want to get out of here, we're trying to hold off at the same time, mentally and spiritually in our hearts, that God's going to come get us out of here, because we want to get out of here. We know what's going on, and other people out there don't, and God's still looking for the ones that he wants to bring in and stuff. So it can be very difficult. But the way that things look right now, and what he told me last year, that's most definitely this year, from what I can see, I just have to expect that he meant that within whatever time period that's a year or whatever with him, and I'd say that looks really, really close. Do I know for sure? No, I'm just along for the ride. I have no idea, but that's what I heard. That's what he told me, and with every confirmation and prayer that I asked after that to share, or if I should within a week, he did just that. He showed me over and over again that I need to. So I had no choice but to. And like I say, the attacks and everything that lined up was absolutely how it goes when God gives you something important. Satan tries to break it down, and that's exactly what happened too. So I have no choice but to believe it. And if we're looking at the way things are right now and ramping up worldwide, for this whole thing to break loose at any moment, we're right there. Honestly, we are. It's closer than ever. There's more signs than you could possibly imagine. I'm not really going to talk about all that in this video. I really just wanted to, let you guys know where I'm at, what I'm going through, and deal with, we are all really dealing with hardship right now, and it's not easy. And I just want you guys to hang in there, because before not too long, we're going to get told, hey, stand up. And we're going to get out of here. And I know you're swimming as hard as you can across that river right now, and it feels like you're going to drown. But God really is going to come back, and he is watching out for us. And it is important to plant those seeds and to buy that field, because the treasure that we have that God has in store for us up there, no eye has seen. It hasn't entered the heart of man, and it can't be imagined. It's greater than anything you could possibly imagine. And it is hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me, I know. I've fallen big time, multiple times, and it's hard to get back up sometimes, and I am trying to get back up and hang in there and finish this race, but I just want you guys to be encouraged and not to give up, because we are really right there at the finish line. You can see it coming, and it's not going to be much longer, because otherwise none of us are going to make it, seriously, the way that it's looking. But I know God's going to come through like he always does, and he keeps his word and his promises, even if we don't understand everything at the time. So I just want you guys to be encouraged. I just kind of want to go over some of that stuff. This message really is kind of just like a heart-to-heart, and let you know where I'm at and stuff like that. And if you guys keep me in prayer, I'd really, really appreciate it, because I'm like I say, I'm dealing with some stuff, and I'm trying to get back on my feet and everything like that, so I can put out some more frequent messages and everything, and talk to you guys and stuff like that. And I've been going through quite a bit, so if you keep me in prayer, I'd really appreciate it. And if you think about it, I'd really appreciate, I have a really special friend I've known for a long time, and she's been going through a lot of stuff. She's got 4 kids, and she's going through some trials of her own right now, and some things that she's overcoming from the past and stuff, and I really, really care about her. And if you guys could think about it, keep her in your prayers for me. I'd really appreciate it. And I just thank you for that. But I want you guys to all hang in there, all right? And don't give up, because honestly, we're going to get out of here really, really soon. And we just got to keep trucking along, keep witnessing where you can, keep talking to people where you can and sharing, and try not to be bitter like me. and have a renovated heart, because it's all going to change in a minute. It's all going to be worth it, and we're going to be done with this race. Okay, we are at the finish line. We are the group of people that get to see it at the end, and it's not supposed to be easy. It's grueling at the end. It's where you got to give the last oomph and push as hard as you possibly can. So hang in there, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time on Unleashing. God bless. All right, bye.